I know what I know what Lucifer's problem is. He's just impatient. That's all it is. There's something really to that power of God of staying still. When people cut out in front of you, that's an example of learning to stay still. Not that you stop when you're on the dime and you put the brakes on and you stay still at that exact moment, but you slow down. This is why Satan gets up and has an attitude towards people these days, is because he needs to straighten things up for God. God doesn't do anything except for he reveals secrets to his prophets. Satan's a hired employee of God. God doesn't have to do anything, ever. He already created everything. What more do you want him to do? But Satan has he has a chip on his shoulder. Even though he's the creation of the problems, like he created these problems because he offered it to you. The offer's there, and then you took his offer, and he's excited from the gate, from the beginning of time, deceiving the Adam and the Eve, and then they began to know what good and evil is. Fast forward to today. Satan has an attitude. He's tired, worn out. He works a lot. He doesn't get any rest day or night. Even though he's saying, "Holy, holy, holy, thou Lord, O God," with no rest day or night. He's still going to have an attitude about it, because that's what Satan does. He complains. He's a complainer. He's lazy, and he just wants to stop being used. Like he's at the point now, even though he enjoys it. Look, he enjoys it, but he can't stand it. It's like my cat, Decker, that met the new cat. The new cat came in, and Decker's like, he's always with my dog. He'll never get along with it. My cat is a demon, filled with anger, anxiety, just nonstop. He'll never get along with the dog, ever. Constantly growling and yelling. But with the cat, he was kind of that way at first, but then he has this thing where he's lured to the kitten, and it's like, and he goes up to him, is like he wants to like rub against him, but then he growls at him like, "Rawr." He's like, it's like, "I love you, I hate you, I love you, I can't stand you," because his nature is to hate, but he wants to love. He has the feeling of wanting to love, but his nature is hate, hate, hate. I hate you, other animals. And that's what Satan's nature is. It's to hate you, human beings. He's to hate you. Satan has to do all the work in these end days. God doesn't have to do anything. He just has to stay still. It's like Lucifer, right? Because he fell. He has this problem with God. Because God is just, it's like, you know how you have a boss, and he doesn't want to lift a finger at all. He doesn't have to, but he doesn't. He can, but he doesn't. He does not. And you're this worker over here that's, you're not getting paid much. You're working all types of hours. It's like hard labor. It's nonstop. And then you look over at your boss, and he's just sitting there still, like just relaxing. And it kind of gets you irritated, even though he's the one that created this business, but you're butting your nose into his business because he's sitting still after his creation. If you don't like it, then create your own. That's why Satan is a bitter spirit right now. Is he the one that's going to get people to turn back to God? Absolutely. Is he going to try to take credit for it? Of course. But see, God's smart enough to know Satan is impatient. So he's just going to sit back and wait for him to play out this apocalypse. And then that's how you start to see the power of God in the end when it's over. That's when great fear falls upon these people, and that's when there's a time of trouble like no other after the first fakery of the 21-day war. It's afterwards. It's not before. This fake war, how is that? What is it? Like, how is that a time of trouble? It's just a time of a scary movie. Do you believe the movie is real? Israel? Well, then go ahead. Then you'll live in fear. So that's what Satan's trick is. His trick is to create the problem. It's not a secret, but he creates the problem. And then when he comes up with the solution, he tries to take credit for the solution. The problem is, you've tempted everybody. Yeah, and they fell for it. And then now they're constantly coming to you for your guidance, Satan. And now you're getting tired of guiding them because you just want them to just think for themselves now. Because it does get draining. Like, have you ever done something that you thought at first, like, oh, this is great, and then you're stuck. Then now it's like part of you, whatever it is. And then now you kind of regret it, but at the time it seemed like a good idea. That's what Satan's going through right now. He's so worn out and beat down and tired from God's, just the 144 alone. Just those alone. He can't keep up. Like, how many people does it take to surveil one person on YouTube? How many trolls, how many agents, how many people are on that one person? Well, with me, I can imagine like 25 people just straight off the top of my head. 25 different individual names. Whether they watch all the time or they take turns, however that works, it's a full-time job to keep up with one person. So then when Satan creates these problems, and then here's Lucifer's whole thing. He's God's favorite, right? Yep, he's God's favorite. But then he says, well, God, why the hell aren't you doing anything? You're not doing anything. Like, you're just allowing people free will. It's sickening. Everybody is... The human being race is the problem. And you've just allowed this to happen? Like, what freaking kind of God are you? You're allowing this evil to take over in the world. You created evil. You actually sent the evil on us. Like, what the hell kind of God is that? So Satan will accuse God of doing nothing, even though he created him. He created everything. He created everything and everybody. It's you know he doesn't want to give him the credit for doing that. He just wants to nitpick the little easy things that he can, because he can say that God is not. He's not giving us free will. We don't have free will because we're stuck. We're stuck with the options of whatever free will we think we have. We have limited options. I'll give you that. It's limited. But if God was going to do something to his creation to get them to recognize who he is, he's going to send his little bastard child to harass everybody. God's doing it. He sent Satan. But Satan wants to take credit for it when it's all fixed, because of the fear, because of the lies, because of all the work. It's exhausting. So when Lucifer finally gets to push the play button, because he knew when the play button was all along, once they sit back and once they watch the show and how everybody's like just going to and fro, and you know how many people are going to just basically lose their mind? They're not going to die. You know how many people think they're going to die? You know how many people think they're going to like starve to death when there's a lack of food? You know how many people are going to not know what the hell to do when everything's shut down for those 3 days? Power you have is to be patient. I used to get irritated a lot. I used to even get irritated drinking these drinks. Like, I would drink one of these, it's just instant irritation. But then now, because it tastes so good, and the irritation, it tries to sneak in. I see it, but I just don't allow it. It's like allowing those continual thoughts and that repetitive song to be stuck in your head. You can not allow it, but you have to be consciously aware that it's there, and then you have to be aware of severing the thought. Our brains are recording. We have a recorder in our brain as humans. And we have a playback button. It's record, push play. We remember things, especially short-term repetitive thoughts can drive you insane. It can literally keep you from sleeping. It will take the sleep from you. You'll lose sleep over repetitive thoughts. If something bothers you, if you get into an argument with somebody in your family or whatever, see, I got to be patient with this coming up. It's 9:30. It's past rush hour. What is the why? That's what you ask yourself. Why? But how impatient can I get? I mean, one thing that helps is, I remember saying before, when I was sitting in jail in 2004, I said, man, what I would give to be stuck in traffic right now and not be here in jail, because right now I'm stuck in traffic, and this works every freaking single time. I'm stuck in traffic. I'm not in jail. I mean, not yet anyway. Next time I go to jail, it's not going to be for something that I did wrong. It's just going to be for it's going to be for predicting the second 9/11. That's all. They're going to want to question me about it. That's if the elite follow through with. If they're not, if they want to truly see if God exists, then they'll just allow it to happen. They'll follow through with exactly what they said that they were going to do. Look, they've been telling us all these years, 4, 3, 2, 1. They've been telling you that it's Philadelphia all this time. They've been telling you it's a Super Bowl game because the whole entire world's going to be watching Super Bowl Studio 54 on 2/2/2020. That way, with 5:55 remaining in the fourth quarter, I said that before Kleck even said that. Yeah, it's like a football game. It's like a few minutes left in the fourth quarter, and you got to keep, you just got to perform and perform. He was just telling you that the explosion is going to happen at 5:55 in the fourth quarter in the Super Bowl. I can only imagine how many other subliminals there's been over the past 8 years. Just letting you, well, actually, with the first 9/11, how they're leading up to the second. Every event they tell you what they're going to do next. There's some type of symbolism in the event video that they're showing you that leads up to the next one. It won't be something that I did wrong sitting in jail. But as of now, it always works because it just looks like the airplane is staying still. I mean, I'm on the clock. I'm going from one job to the other. That makes it even more tolerable. I'm getting paid to stay in traffic, to sit in traffic. Not that I'm like excited about it. It's just I'm at one job and I go to the other. You're still on the clock. You don't clock out because you got to go from one job to the other. So I'm getting paid to drive. I'm getting paid to talk. I'm getting paid to make a YouTube video. This is the reason why it's not so bad driving back and forth to work with extra time, like an hour and a half. Because if I can either make a video for, as long as I feel like it doesn't matter what I say, I can, hey, who cares? Whatever. It's passing the time, ain't it? I try to find YouTube videos to pass my time. So when I'm driving back and forth to work, I get to catch up on all the news. I get to catch up on the Word of God. I get to catch up on my own videos. I always try to use my time wisely. I can't stand wasting time. I hate it. I hate wasting it because it flies by too fast. And it only does that because we're busy. We're going here. We're going there. We're stuck in a system. We have to survive. We need to eat. You want to live in a comfortable home, don't you? I mean, these are the things you got to do. I remember when I first started talking, I only made 5-minute videos at the most. I just thought the quicker the videos, and I know the average watch time is between 5 and 7 minutes. It's not like everybody clicks on the video and listens to the whole 33 minutes, but there are a few hundred of you that do. At least like 140 something of you, somewhere around there. That pretty much every video you're watching, you're listening the whole way through. And I appreciate it. I don't truly know who it is, but I know it's people. It doesn't even matter. I was told before that by reading the Bible, just be careful who you talk to because you might be entertaining angels unaware. Then I started to become aware that I'm actually entertaining angels, messengers. Chief messenger There's a chief messenger. There's a chief musician. Yeah, I told, well, what I suggested for the people that if you want to get sleep, can you imagine going up to Lucifer and telling him that, hey Lou, if you want to sleep, why don't you stop listening to music for a few days? If you want to get some rest, just stop listening to your own creation that keeps your ass up. And then you'll realize it's like asking yourself to fast from telling the truth. Music, Lucifer and music is like Christ fasting from telling the truth. I think it's impossible. I mean, I know. I mean, I'm sure Christ could not tell the truth for 3 days. I mean, like out loud. He would just have to be silent. He would just have to not talk. Because everything that comes out of his mouth is true. Whether you like it or not, it's true. Satan has a problem with it because here's the deal. There's Satan, there's Christ, and there's our dad. Well, who does God favor? Well, Daniel is greatly beloved. Greatly beloved because he's obedient. Now, Lucifer, it's not that God doesn't love him. Of course he does. Lucifer is just banging his head against the wall a lot. And he's been disobedient, and he thinks he can do it better than his dad. So what he does is he creates this whole entire scenario for about 13,000 something years since the beginning of creation. He created this situation of everybody worshiping him, coming to him as if he's God. I think when you create these problems, these events that happen, and you come up with a solution, when you create these events, and there's nothing but shootings, killing people, and all that stuff, and then the solution is, we'll take the guns away. Well, you're the one that created this situation, and then now you want to take it away? We shouldn't own guns anyway. Nobody should have to own a gun. You shouldn't have to own a gun. I understand that people are going to own a gun, but should you really have to? Well, you do, because the way Satan has run this world, he's instilled fear in everybody, and delusions, and schizophrenic and paranoia. But don't you know that that's God's plan, to take the guns out of your hand? Thou shalt not kill. You shall not kill. But you shall not lie either. People don't listen to that, do they? Because they don't believe that God is going to do anything. And they're right. Because the scripture says it. God will do nothing except. All he does is reveals things. God is a spirit of power. He's not a human being. He's not a person on earth. I'm sick of people pretending that they're God. Everybody, I'm sick of it. You ain't the damn God. You ain't God. You did not create your own flesh and blood. You cannot possibly be God the Father. You could be a son. You can be a Holy Spirit. It can dwell in you. You can be a human being. You can represent God as the mouthpiece. You can speak for him. You can speak for Satan too. But you're not Satan. Satan is Satan. There's only one Satan, and that's the creation of evil and necessity. Satan is necessary. Is he a dick? Of course he is. But at the same time, he has a way of looking out for you that you don't understand, because Satan is sick of the fakery himself. Satan is sick of being lied to. That's the part of his conscience that God instilled, like, no matter what. Satan's looking to rest for the next 1,000 years. And when God is in charge and doing the work, it's like staying still. It's just, God is constantly going to stay still. He doesn't have to lift a damn finger, because it's in the conscience of people's minds. That's what he changes. That's the finger he's lifting. That's the hand of God. Although he's sitting still, just like the earth is sitting still, and the footstool, that is God's. The earth, it sits still. God's sitting still, the earth is sitting still. The only thing spinning is people's heads when they can't figure out how to frick to stay still and develop some power that God is willingly giving. Do you want to receive it? Well, you might have to do some type of work, and the work is just basically elimination. So technically, it's not even work. It's not like you're accumulating things, you're eliminating things. Eliminate repetitive thoughts. It's a work that you can do. Even though you don't have to do a damn thing, you can just sit there, sit still. But when you eliminate the repetitive thoughts, you become more powerful, because your mind is able to shut down anything negative that runs through your brain. Anything that's trying to control you. Mind control, it's so weak. What the Illuminati try to do, it's weak. It's weak to people that can stay still. If you can't stay still and you claim you're strong, well, you're weak. The weakness that Lucifer has, here's Lucifer's kryptonite, me. The kryptonite is the inability to stay still. You don't have the ability to just relax and let things go. Nah, man, shit bothers you. It bothers you. Now, things bother me too. But at the same time, there's certain things that I cannot handle at all, so I leave it in God's hands. The one that created me, there's a direction that energy goes, and it just flows in certain directions, and karma comes back and bites people in the ass, and it just happens. Like, that part of God is something, you can't be that. That is. It's like God is. God is what? It is. God just is. It is everything. Everything you see, do, breathe. Remember, it all came from planet Earth. Everything you see in front of your eyes actually came from the ground up. When God created the flat Earth, the plane Earth, concave, whatever it is, when God created the Earth that does not move, that's stationary, there was nothing but trees and rivers and oceans and water. We're the ones that dug up the ground and then formed like this material. That's us being like God, because we're taking something and we're creating something different out of it. Satan's kryptonite. What do you want me to do, lady? You want to go that way or this way? See? I'll just show you. We're here. There's a red light. There's nowhere you can really go anywhere faster. But when you don't have the power to be patient or to stay still, you'll complain. And when you complain, you get irritated easily. You get fat. You get easily irritated pretty quick. And then you'll realize that you'll either have to go to the 7th Street, which is north, or of the 8th, which is south. It's either the north or the south. The king of the south is going to get severely troubled by the tidings from out of the east. And then the king of the north will come and fight with him. And the king of the south is really going to be troubled by that. Because there's going to be... there's two entities that are coming after the one. Yeah, it's backstabbing is what it is. It's lying. But when someone's lying and the other person is lying for the protection of getting people to turn back to God, well, Lucifer is using them to do that. Because he knows the power of God. He knows that he can't stay still. It kind of bothers him. That's the jealousy part. That's what Satan can't stand. Is the fact that God can actually just sit there and believe. Why doesn't it bother you? Well, it's like, King David, when his son, what is his name? Thusula? What? What is his name? I don't remember. What is that name? No, that's my sub. Well, maybe whatever his name was. When he knew that he was going to die, and he was dying, well, he fasted for, I forget how many days. Probably 7. Maybe 3 at the least. He fasted for 7 days, and then after that, he went about his business. And then the people were like, why are you just acting like nothing happened? Because he already went through it. He already experienced it. He already flushed the system out. There's no point in dwelling on it, because if you do that, you're allowing the continual repetitive thoughts to bother you. And then when that continually bothers you, you'll continually feel sick. And when you continually feel sick, you won't do anything in life, and you'll just shut down. You care, of course you care about your son dying, but you have to move on. It's like when you do that, people will think that you don't care, that you don't have a heart. They don't understand that the power you have is to get over it. Move on with life. Life goes on, because you're going to die one day too. Whether you die sooner or later, who knows? You don't know the day or the hour when you're going to die. Christ comes as a thief in the night. Nobody knows the day or the hour.